Okay, welcome and thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Lisa Bispham, Administrative Services Manager for the Child Support Directors Association, and I'm your host for today's webinar. Please note that during this webinar, all attendees are muted, so please use the chat and Q&A boxes at the bottom of your screen to communicate. Please use the Q&A box to ask any questions of the presenter and the chat box to engage with fellow attendees. Please remember to share your comments with everyone in the chat box. The default is just to panelists, so go ahead and click panelist and all attendees so that everyone can see your wonderful comments. During this webinar, we will explore the basics of Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Forms, OneDrive, and more. I hope you're just as excited as me to learn more about Office 365 and what it has to offer. I would now like to introduce our speaker for today's webinar, Hooman Hasanpour. Hooman has been an IT professional for over 16 years. He began his career as a tech at a small firm in the South Bay, where he helped grow the customer base from 50 active clients to over 300 in just 2 short years, exposing him to all sorts of unique IT challenges. He worked for USC as a tech, a systems administrator, a project manager, and a manager throughout his 9 years tenure. He has been with the Los Angeles County Child Support Services Department for 4.5 years as their Chief Information Officer, where he has shifted the paradigm of IT drastically. He holds 2 degrees, a bachelor's in Management Information Systems and a master's in Human Behavior. He spends most of his free time with his wife and now 3-year-old son, Gibbs. He enjoys playing computer games in the dark with headphones on while his son sleeps at night. He also loves racing cars on the weekend when time allows, which he claims is rare these days. Please welcome Hooman Hasanpour.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Lisa. So as Lisa mentioned, we're going to go through not all, but most of the Office 365 applications. And when I was approached to come up with an idea to talk about, I thought this would be the best, especially during this COVID situation that we're all in, working from home, working remotely. One of the issues we've seen in LA County is that everyone has been accessing their Outlook, their Teams, and this sort of thing through VDI, which is a virtual desktop infrastructure. And I want to point out to everyone right off the bat that that's not necessary, that you can access all of this stuff just through a web browser. So that will free up some resources in keeping your VDI, your remote desktop, and stuff like that running more efficiently than having to run all of these apps and anything you're doing for county work. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. Here we go. So to start with Office 365, the quickest way is to open a new web browser and simply go to portal.office.com and it'll bring you to the login screen. I'll be using my alter ego today so you don't get inundated with the million emails I usually get. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Remember to set very strong passwords. It's very important. So strong that sometimes you forget how to type them. Let's see if I get that one right. Yes, I did. I have a 2-factor authentication on my phone that I'll have to approve. Approved. And sure, we'll say sign in for 7 days. So this is what you will see right when you log into Office 365. And from here, we can jump into, let's say, Microsoft Teams. So the list of all your apps will be down this column, or you can click this square and it'll give you a bunch of more apps. So we're going to start with Microsoft Teams. Wait for it to load. So here is Teams. And what we're going to start with is the difference between individual chats and group chats. So this is a point of confusion for a lot of folks since they call it teams, then there's teams within teams, and it's like teamception. So we're just gonna start with chat, individual chat. So to do this, you can search for your contacts at this search bar up here. And we're just gonna search for Human, and there he is. And then we'll say, hello. So then Human, me, will get it on their other device or any device that they have access to. I have it on my phone, my computer, and whatnot. So I'll just reply, hi, buddy. Good luck today. And it's a little weird that I'm having a conversation with myself, but just to demonstrate the point. So then you can have this little back and forth with just an individual. And what's in here is private between you and that person. So the next step would be to go into the actual teams. And in here, I don't have any because I created a new account, so we can go through that process. So to create a team, you simply click Create Team. And you can build it from a group that you're already part of in Office 365. Like, let's say you're part of the collections department or whatever division within your organization. But we're going to build one from scratch. So at the next step, you can have it be private or public. I like to keep things private because we all work with very important data that we don't want getting out. So we're going to stick with private, and we'll call this Human's Webinar. And you can give it a description, Office 365. And then you simply click Create. Sorry, I'm going around like this because my camera's right in the middle of my monitor. Anyway, so then you can start adding folks. So since I'm on Sam, we're gonna add Human. You start typing the name. I didn't know there were this many Humans in LA, but cool. We'll pick me, click Add, and that's it. So now you have a team. And within this team, you can add people, you can create more channels within it, you can open frequently asked questions. At the top here, you can share files, so you can upload files to this area. Wait for it to load so you can see what it looks like. So currently there's nothing here, but if I wanted to, let's say, upload a file, I can upload, how about accomplishments of my division from 2017. And then you can share from here too. You can do a link and email that out. You can share it through SharePoint. There's a bunch of cool features in there. And then there's a wiki if you want to share ideas back and forth. But back to chat. So let's say you want to chat with just the people on your team. So it's the same concept, except the difference is you're in teams, not in chat. And anyone in this team, if let's say Lisa was in it or Greg was in it, they would all see this chat. So it's a public chat within that team. I want to make that clear just in case, you say something you don't want to and it's too late. So we'll just say hi. And now if I go on my phone as the real me and go into my team, there we go. You'll see that when I reply, it replies back here and you'll get a notification. So that's the difference between individual and group chats. So the next thing we're going to talk about is creating meetings from within teams. So for that, you would click on calendar over here on the left. So once you're in the calendar window, you can do a live meet now, which I'm not going to do, or you can click on new meeting. So when you click on new meeting, you just give it a title. Webinars are cool. And then which attendees do you want? So you can add groups or individuals here. You can set the time and the date. So we'll set this for a little bit later. And does not repeat. You can even select which channel you want this meeting to go to. So that team that I created earlier, you can add it there, but I'm gonna leave it blank just so we have it and we can start. So then you just hit send. And now it'll go to my email. But one other thing I want to show you is a scheduling assistant, because you usually are going to invite more than just one person. So if you added a bunch of people here, you can see their schedules on the calendar and then see what the free times are and what's not. So that's a really good feature to keep an eye out for. So I'm going to discard that, and here you go. So once a meeting is accepted, from like an individual. I'm going to bring my Outlook over here so you guys can see it. So here is that link, and here's my list of things to do. And from here, you can join the meeting. So that is how you set up a meeting. And to join it, you just go to your calendar, right? Like I just showed you. And then the next thing we're going to look at is I'm actually going to start this meeting just so hopefully we don't get feedback, but we'll see what happens. Might get feedback. It might not let me since we're using it on Zoom right now. Okay, so we're just going to continue. Anyway, so I see there's some chats in here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. 1 second. So while I'm going to answer all of these questions at the end, continue to ask them in here. And at the end, we'll go one by one and I'll show you how to do each thing. So let's go back to all of your Office 365 apps. And the next thing I want to show you guys is forms. So we're going to go to Office 365 and we're going to look at all of the apps. And these are all the apps you have access to within Office 365. There's a ton, but we're going to select forms. We love using forms in LA County mostly because you can create surveys really easily within this. So to start with that, we're going to jump in and just click New Form. And we'll give it a name. And then you can add different types of boxes. So we're going to add each one just so you see what it looks like. We'll say choice. So we'll ask a choice question. Does, like a type, Human's beard look dope or not? So option 1, we would say dope. Option 2, not so much. Then you can add another thing. Let's say a text box. How are you doing today? And you can require an answer. So and then here, let's go back and make sure we require an answer. And then we'll add a rating. How is this webinar going so far? And again, required answer. And then date, we can skip, and there's a couple of other things in there that you can do. So this is where it gets real cool. So I'm going to share this form. Move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. And we're gonna, this is where you can set it to be anyone with a link, so you can send it out outside of your county or only people within the organization. For now, we're gonna keep it with people within my organization. And we'll email it out. And what it'll do is it'll open up my email, I'll send it to myself, and then I'll go to my email. And as soon as it comes in, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what the user will get once you're done with your form. So I think the beard looks dope. It's not quite there yet, but it's coming. I'm doing fine. And we'll give it a 4 out of 5 just to be fair and hit submit. So the submit, that goes out. Then Sam, the other me, can go back and look at the responses. And it gives you this nice little dashboard with data, which answers were what and whatnot. And then the real cool thing is you can export this to an Excel file and just have it forever and share it with anybody you want. Let's see. So it saved it. And this is what the Excel side of things looks like. So it says what time it was started, what time it was ended, the email address of the participant who did it, the name, and their responses. So Forms is a really powerful tool that not a lot of people know about. I wanted to make sure you all heard about it because it can be really, really cool. So we're gonna now jump into, let's say, Microsoft Word. So from here, you don't even have to install Word anymore. You can just run it from the app, from the web. It has all the same features and all the same settings. So we'll say test document. And the reason we're doing Microsoft Word, I hope all of you know how to use Microsoft Word at this point in your careers. If you don't, that's okay. But this is how you would save it. So let's say it's here, and we want to save it. And we want to save it to OneDrive, because that's our next discussion topic. So we're going to call this test document, if I could spell. And then the location is your OneDrive. And it just automatically pops up, and boom, there's your OneDrive. So it just takes you to OneDrive right away. So this is OneDrive. OneDrive is really cool because you can share all sorts of files, and most people throughout the state have really large storage space. So if you want to share like pictures or videos or music or whatever that's pertaining to work, of course, you can do that here. There's also a cool feature where you can, I believe, let me open it up here. Any document, let's say this file, you can just drag and drop. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. Let's say I want, I don't know, this random Dell file. If you just copy it, you don't have to like click upload. You can drag and drop, which makes things nice and easy. If you want to go the other way, you just click upload, and you can either select files or folders. And then from there, we can just, interview questions or something like that. And then it pops up in OneDrive. Now from here, you can share these files out, like I mentioned. So the share button looks like this. It has a little arrow on it. You would click this, and then you have more settings here. So right now it's set to people in the County of Los Angeles can access this. People with existing access, you can do specific. And then you can even allow editing. And the cool thing with this is you'll end up having like a collaborative document share. So like, let's say let's see if I can demonstrate this for you. So we'll share this with Human, and we're gonna allow editing, and we'll send it. So then the person who receives it, the link has been sent. So the person who receives it will get it in their email. Oops. And now we can have a collaborative type situation where if I start typing stuff on here, but Sam also starts typing stuff on here, what'll end up happening is you can save it in real time. See? So this is Human's stuff, and this is Sam's stuff. And you can see who's typing what because it highlights the person's name. So blah, blah, blah. And then if you go back to the Sam side, you can see, oh, Human typed this. So it's kind of cool. That's how you share files. Now, if you want to access a file that's been shared with you, you would just go to the shared section here on the left. And I previously shared this document as Human to Sam. So now I can view the files that have been shared with me. So you have your files, most recent files, and shared. So that's really cool feature within OneDrive, and I use it all the time. Let me minimize this. And let's go to Outlook. So I'm just going to click on the Outlook. And you notice it opens in a new tab. So you can open all of these at the same time in different tabs. So like if you do new blank document in Excel or Microsoft Teams, then you can have them all open. And again, this is all outside of the VDI, so it'll run much smoother, assuming you have a decent internet connection. This is my sad little inbox of my new account, so there's nothing in it, but I want to show you some cool settings that you may not have known about. So if you go to the gear icon, typically the settings thing, you can change the theme in here. I like to keep it in that. If you want to go invert colors, you can do that. And you can change the reading pane size, all of those things. And you can see it all. I'm pointing as if you're here, sorry. So you can see it. If you click medium, all of these change. If you click full, all of these change. So there's some settings there. Now, the more you get into it, the more settings there are. So let's say, for instance, signature. If you want to change your signature. So I typically do something like this. Lisa and I were laughing about this earlier because most people, for some reason, can't say my name. So I spell it phonetically in there. And then you can put your title, CIO, LA County, and whatnot. And then these two settings will tell you who the signature will get attached, or what emails it'll get attached to. So any new message or any replies. I like to keep it on both just to keep it nice and professional. So that's signatures. And then if you click save, and you go back to, let's say, a new message, it's already there. Here, I keep pointing again. Anyway, so let's go back to the settings. There's one other thing I'd like to show you in here, and then we'll start to open it up for questions. And you can ask me anything. It doesn't have to be related to the stuff we've covered today. It could be literally any computer question. If I can answer it, I will. If not, I'll definitely get back to you. So don't worry about that. Let's see, what was I going to show you? Oh, that's right, automatic replies. So general, and where did it go? Of course, I lose it now in the middle of a webinar, but automatic replies. So this is where you would turn on your, I'm off on Fridays, leave me alone, or I'm on vacation, but since that's not happening for anybody right now, we wouldn't worry about it. But the cool thing with automatic replies is you can obviously set a time and date for it to go on and off. You can check this box to legit block the calendar for that time so no one can add things to it. Automatically decline invites. And then this is where I like to set things differently. So let's say I want a message for just the people in LA County, you would put it here. And if it's an outside person, you can set a different message here. Depends on your preference, but you have that option. So that is Outlook. And now we can answer some questions.
Human, we had one question in the Q&A box, but a couple in the chat. So let me do the chat so I don't lose those.
Okay.
One of them was when you were in MS Teams, it says, how do you remove someone from an existing team?
Okay, so for that, let's go into Teams. And I got to minimize some of this stuff. So this is the team. You would right click on the three dots next to the team name, click Manage Team, and it'll show you the members. And then once you have the members, if I click this X, it removes Human from that team.
Great. Let's see. In the Q&A, it says, what is channel or what does it mean?
Okay, so I'm going to add a couple channels just so you see what it looks like. That's channel. So typically what we'll do with channels within at LA County, sometimes let's say you want to have a group conversation with all the supervisors, but you don't want regular staff to see it. You can change that privacy setting to accessible to only specific people. So you hit next. And then you have to actually add each person you want. Problem is there's no one in this team, so give me 1 sec. Let me add myself back. Add member. So we'll add Human back. And now Human's back. So you see how a lock icon showed up next to supervisors? Not everyone can see it. Right now, I can't see it because I don't have access. But if I wanted to add, excuse me, manage this channel. So then we could add it here, but there's no one here. Sorry, there we go. And this will show you the different permissions. So to add a person, actually, you would just click add member on the right. We'll add Human, add, and now Human will be able to go in and look at what's going on in here. But like, let's say I added Lisa, she would not be able to because I didn't add her to this specific channel. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Next one, what's your policy on FTI being stored in OneDrive?
In our OneDrive, it's okay. Like it's been approved for that because of the security measures that are set in Microsoft. The reason I think most counties use Office 365 as opposed to, let's say, like the Google app environment is because Microsoft guarantees our data stays within the contiguous United States, which is a huge, they call it FedRAMP high, basically. So that data cannot get out. Now, it's definitely possible it can get hacked, but so can your systems. So OneDrive within LA County, I can't prescribe this to every county, but within LA County, we're okay with it.
Great, thanks. How do you clear old chat messages from Teams?
Individual chats?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. Okay, I'll just start with Teams. So in Teams, you can delete the actual message itself by clicking on those famous 3 dots. That's where everything is. So we'll delete that. Both of them been deleted. In individual chats, I'm not sure if that's possible. I think you can hide it and it goes away, but it doesn't get rid of it. So, and then you can filter back out like things that were hidden and things that weren't. So,
okay.
That's how it would be done.
Yeah, that one was clear old chats. And then 2 questions down, it says, can you delete Teams conversations? If so, how? Is that what you had just
That's what we
deleted?
just showed. Yeah,
Got it.
that's what these were.
Okay. Then another question. Under Teams, you mentioned Wiki is used to share ideas back and forth. How is that different from a private chat?
The wikis would be like a document. Let's say, for instance, in tech support, if we come up with a clever solution for something that we think will come up later, we would put the solution in the wiki. So it's a file, it's not a chat.
Okay. Can members manage the Teams site just like the owner in Teams?
Members can only manage if they have access to manage. So to show you what that looks like, this is the team. So we're going to go to Manage Team by clicking on the 3 dots. And then it'll show you the level. So right here, it's just member. And if it's just member, the answer is no. If you want them to have access, you make them an owner. And now as an owner, they have the ability to make those changes.
Next one, in both Teams and chat, can you save the conversation?
As in like an export? I am not sure. Let's see. I don't think I've done that before. Let me start a chat again. There we go. He's back. So I'll have to get back to you on that. I think you can share it. Let's see. Not here. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, and we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, actually, let's see. No. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Can you mark who that was so I can email them?
Yep, her name's Anne. I got it right here. Let me just jot down the question. Teams and chat. Save conversation. Okay, the next one. Can history be deleted?
History in what?
Christina, history in what? So we'll have her calls.
Like here under calls? Oh, this history?
Yeah, she said calls. Yeah.
I don't know. Write that one down too.
Okay.
I haven't made any calls using Teams before, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's see. We have another one. When I attend a team meeting with my SCSS under team, my picture comes out sideways. Everyone else is okay, but I'm sideways. Is that my camera? How do I fix that?
You mean like the icon, or your actual like what you're seeing me right now looks sideways?
Ivith, if you can respond to that. Her picture.
The picture, like in the icon.
Icon, yeah.
So that you need to re-upload your photo. So you would just click on yourself here, change picture, and upload a picture. Here's me and my sister, and then just click save, and then save again. If your picture, does it appear sideways up here on your own, or just in the meetings?
She typed back, no, the actual camera.
The actual camera, okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a setting within it. It sounds like your camera's either sideways, or the setting within cameras. I'd have to open a team to show you, or a team video. So if you could add her to my list of people to get in touch with, we can do a little demo back and forth. It won't let me activate my video in Teams since we're in Zoom right now, so I won't be able to show you that setting.
Okay. And then Anne responded when we were talking about in both Teams and chat, can you save the conversation? She followed up and said, if you use Control S in Skype, it will save in the Outlook conversation history folder.
I see. Control S brings this up as a, let's see if this works, as a web page. So I'm going to save it to my desktop and we can test it right now. Yeah. That's what it comes up as. It looks like a picture. So it'll save it as like a screenshot. But I think there's a way to save it as a document. So I'll definitely look that up and let you know.
Great, thanks. Let's see. Our court intends to use MS Teams for court hearings with us and the public. In Zoom, there's a large waiting room where everyone can wait, but yet separate rooms where a couple people can go at a time, but yet come back to the main waiting room when they're done. Is there something like this in MS Teams?
In a meeting, yeah, there is a waiting room, and if you set the meeting to be private, you have to, as the moderator, enable them access. So kind of like when you join in Zoom, there's a setting Lisa could have put that says she has to admit you to the meeting, but they can't jump in and out themselves. It would have to be controlled by a moderator.
Great. Next question, do forms come with the Office package?
Yes, it did for us, and I think we have the same licensing that the state gave, so you should have it. You can check that by going to portal.microsoft.com or portal. Any of these work. Let's say office.com. It should bring you to the main page, and then if you click on these squares at the top and then click on all apps, you'll see all of the applications you have access to. So hopefully you have forms in there. I know we do, but it is part of Office 365 as far as I know.
Okay, great. Let me take a peek at the chats because I think there's some questions there. What experiences have you had having documents and files locally on the file server and now in the cloud And what ISO and IRS security hurdles have you dealt with?
So we have moved especially during COVID, we kind of made this mad jump to teleworking. And the only way we could make that work was to secure files online. So like I mentioned earlier, OneDrive meets those requirements. So we save a lot of our files in OneDrive. And or Teams. It's using the same infrastructure. So you can save files either in Teams or in OneDrive, and then there is no real security issue as far as we're concerned. So if you like, you can have your CIO contact me and we can chat to see what their concerns might be. But I think it's okay to use OneDrive for that.
Okay. Next question. Can you show in Google Forms how to do the multiple choice option? Is there a way to show if the right, wrong answer is selected?
I think you mean Microsoft Forms, right? I hope.
Probably,
right? Yeah. Let's see, Forms. The right answer, is that what you said?
She wrote, yeah, is there a way to show if the right/wrong answer is selected?
No, I think that's going to be up to you as the person who's reading the answer. I don't think. Yeah, I think that's just up to you, however you create it. So if you want a right or wrong answer, it'll just tell you who answered what, right? Like, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yeah.
It's really up to the interpreter if the answer was answered
Right.
correctly or not.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can you show a video in Teams meeting? And if so, how is that done?
Yes. So I'm going to attempt to do this again. Give me 1 second because I think it's important. Hopefully we don't get some weird feedback. I'm going to turn the audio off. So this is what it looks like when you join a Teams meeting. Yeah, so it won't let me share the video, but what you can do in order to show a video, I got to move my camera here. This is the settings within a meeting. So like right now I'm in a Teams meeting within a Zoom meeting. I know it's complicated, but so this is how you would turn your camera on and off. It won't let me because we're doing Zoom. Same with microphone. You can raise your hand if you want to ask a question. You can see the conversations here in the meeting and all the participants. So to show a video, you would click share, and then you would simply either select a file that's within your OneDrive. I don't have any currently there, so you can just show it from there, or you can share your desktop. So that's how I would do it. I would share my desktop, and now, oh my God, there's so much sharing going on. So now, if I were to play a video, like if we go to like YouTube, tenant. So now they would be able to see this. So hopefully that answers that question. I'm glad we were able to get Teams to work, so that's good. And there we go.
Okay. Okay. Can you save calendared events in a report format such as Excel?
From Outlook, I believe you can export your calendar. Let me see. Sorry, I'm looking away. My Outlook's on a different screen. Give me 1 sec. Where did it go? Bring this. Oops. Yeah, so let's see if I can show you how. So you would file, open and export, open calendar, sorry, save. Click on the calendar you want. I have like a million of them, but we'll just go with this main one here. File, save calendar, and then it saves it as a iCal, or you can change it to ICS, but I think that's just how it would be. So you would save, and then it saves it as a file, and then you can just open that file whenever you want.
Great.
Had to Google that one.
Okay. I don't see any more questions at the moment. I have one, but if you guys have more questions, now's the time.
Yeah.
Can you go over setting up team conversation notifications?
Within Teams?
Within Teams, yes. Setting up notifications.
Notifications. So I'm going to open the Teams app because I think it's, let's minimize this. And let's see, so that is probably going to be under, where are my settings? Settings. So we're learning as we go here because I've never actually done this. But yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
On notifications?
There we go. Never mind. I found it. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So go to activity and then click on the gear icon here where it says feed. And then under notifications, these are all the different notifications you can have. So if it's a team, it can be banner and an email, only show in feed or off. You can have it be sound enabled. So it's basically all of these in here.
Okay.
So activity, gear, notifications.
Okay, great. Another question popped up. Can you delete the conversation history on Teams? So I wrote down Krista's name and we'll get back to Christina and Krista on that.
The conversation history within the team?
Yes, I think that was the same.
Yeah, that's like, so if this is the conversation within a team in a channel, you click the three dots and click delete, and then it makes it go away.
Oh, okay, conversation history. Got it. In Teams meeting, is there a way to switch between speaker view and gallery view?
Yes. Let me join the meeting again to show you. Let's see. Yeah. Waiting for others to join. Yeah, okay, it's so it won't let me show you, but there is a way, and I'll email that directly to you.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
write his name down. Great. Okay, next question. How can you delete your post to a channel?
That's the same way as like the history. So do you mean like a comment or a file? If you mean a comment, so like I'll just smash my keyboard here. Oh no, I didn't want to send that. So you just click this three dots of your post and hit delete.
Yep, the next question down is thanks. I think you just answered my question previously. Sorry about that. I got to read ahead.
No problem.
Let's see. Christine. Okay. That. Let me check the chat. Yep, I think we've answered all the questions we have. Do you guys have any more? Oh, let's see, one just popped up. Instead of sending answers to just the instead of sending answers to just the requester, can you send a follow-up Q&A to everyone? Yes, we will do that. Great suggestion, Tony.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll lay all that out. I'll include links to places that might have the answer that's more articulate than something I would give. But if I have the answer myself, I'll make sure to just put like a document together, and then I'll send it to Lisa, and she can send it to everybody.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. And if anyone on this ever thinks of something later, like it doesn't have to be pertaining to this, I'm willing to help in any way I can. So just shoot me an email directly, and I'll answer whatever I can answer. This has been fun. This is my first webinar, so yeah, I'm used to doing this in person. That's why I keep looking and pointing. But thank you, everyone. Yeah. Hopefully you learned something new.
And we had another question come in. Can you explain when you would use Wiki versus a chat?
Yeah, so like I'm trying to think from your perspective. I'm not sure who asked that, but let's say you're a manager in charge of policy. So instead of putting the policy in a chat that can get lost in like a million different chats, you would just create a file in Word and save it in the wiki, and then you can access that policy anytime you want, because it's a file that won't change basically unless you change it. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, I believe so. Okay. She said, yes, it did. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Kim asked, let's see, why wiki versus files? But I think that
so files would be stuff like photos or a document that's going to be changed from time to time. Wiki is more of like this is the document, we're not changing it, you can use it as a reference.
Next response to that is the purpose of, oh, hold on, I lost it in the chat. Just like you said, is the purpose of the wiki for more collaborative activities? Like Wikipedia?
That's not how we use it. We use wiki as a reference, as like reference material. So like if I say, I don't know, the dress code policy, we would throw that up in the wiki. It doesn't change often, and it's something people can reference easily. Where a file under the files area would be something that is more of the collaborative thing where you want to work on a document back and forth with somebody. So I would use wiki as like I said, a reference material type thing, and files as the collaborative type stuff.
Great, got it. Can you print a doc in file?
From this window, like if we had a file in there, let me upload one. So the answer is yes. You just open the file, and then you have access to do, let's say, edits. There we go. So you can print from here. File print like you normally would.
Okay. Okay, you guys, any other questions? I think we're done with questions.
Okay. Hey, we made it with 10 minutes to spare.
Yeah, that's great.
Timing was kind of winged, but okay, great. Thank you. Thank you everybody for being part of this. It was fun.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining us today. As a reminder, the recording for this webinar will be posted on our website next week. You'll get a follow-up email with a survey tomorrow, also with the link to the recording for you guys. And if you could please take just a moment to fill out the survey, we would appreciate it. We hope that you were able to broaden your knowledge of Office 365 and receive some good takeaways. And lastly, a special thank you to our speaker, Human. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.